Apple has just sent out its invites to the Worldwide Developers Conference. And in this video, I'm going to talk about everything you need to know for WWDC 2026. I'm going to talk about where you can watch it, when to watch it, and what things we can expect to see. Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and let's get right into this. Now, Apple just sent out its invites for WWDC 2026. And unlike last year where it was sort of a colorful background, colorful artwork sort of thing on a white background, hinting at all the liquid glass features that we could get in iOS 26, this year it's more of a shaded sort of area, sort of a shaded artwork at the top and then light at the bottom. That's probably referencing it more of a Snow Leopard update we can expect this year. And these are the dates for the event. They will take place on June 8th to June 12th. That is going to happen at 10 a.m. Pacific time or 12 p.m. Central time if you're in the Midwest, or 1 p.m. Eastern time. Now, you can watch the event on a couple of different places. I will be watching it on YouTube. I do every year. I probably will be watching it either on my Fire Stick or my iPad. I will not be live streaming the event, though last year I uploaded clips of the event to my TikTok and YouTube, making video shorts, and I will do the exact same thing this year. You also can watch the event in the developer app, where you will see the event, and this is from last year, where we had the event artwork for the event. You can also watch the event in the Apple TV app. If you go into the search button, usually most of all the events are here. So you can watch WWDC within the Apple TV app, the Apple Developer app, as well as YouTube. Now, what things can we expect to see at the event? Well, we're mainly expected to see iOS 27, iPadOS 27, macOS 27, and I do not know what they're going to call it this year, watchOS 27, visionOS 27, HomePodOS 27, and also some other updates. Those are pretty much the main updates that we can expect to see. iOS, macOS, iPadOS, watchOS, etc. So we are going to get all of those updates this year at WWDC. Now, what features are we going to expect, and also device compatibility? Well, I figured I should start with device compatibility first, because unfortunately, while this is not confirmed by Apple, this is a speculation, a prediction, to put it simply, that I think the iPhone 11, iPhone 11 Pro, iPhone 11 Pro Max, iPhone SE second generation will not be getting iOS 27. And instead, iOS 27 will support the iPhone 12 and newer. So A14 Bionic chips and newer will most likely be on the list to get iOS 27. Though I think Apple could stick around the iPad Pro from 2020 potentially, though I think there's a high chance it may be dropped. And also the iPad 8th generation, since that came out alongside the iPhone 12 models, while it has the A12 chip, I think Apple is still potentially going to give that iPadOS 27. Now, what can we expect to see with the new iOS 27 update? Well, I put this in the Craft app because I think we're going to have liquid glass sliders here. And we're going to have two of them. If we go into settings and we go into display and brightness, and we go down into liquid glass, in iOS 26.1 back in October, Apple gave us a new toggle for liquid glass. And within that toggle is the ability to have sort of a clear look for notifications and also a tinted look. And as you can see, my notifications got really darker. And as I turn on light mode, they're really light. However, the problem with that is it does nothing to the app folders in App Dock. Well, in iOS 27, we can see that changed. We can see two liquid glass sliders in iOS 27. The first one is going to be for the overall blur effect. How there's a little bit of blur behind the app folders. You will now be able to increase how much blur you want behind the app folders in iOS 27. And also, the second thing you will be able to do, and I created this as a shortcut, ultra dark mode, or I found it off of the internet, but you will also be able to make your folders really dark. Not the wallpaper exactly, but maybe your folders. A type of see-through dark. If you increase the blur effect and have your app dock and app folders dark, then you will get sort of the iOS 18 and older vibes before Apple removed the darker app dock and app folders in iOS 26. So that's what the second liquid glass slider is for, to adjust the overall darkness of the app dock and folders. And the first one is to adjust the overall blur effect. So we can have that across iOS 27, iPadOS 27, macOS 27, and many other updates. I personally am looking forward to seeing the new liquid glass sliders in iOS 27. Now, along with having liquid glass sliders, we are also expected to get some enhanced AI updates. We're expected to get ChatGPT and Google Gemini integration with Siri. We are expected to get updates to Siri 2.0 in the iOS 27 update. So we will see that shown off at WWDC. Hopefully Apple doesn't make us wait. Though unfortunately, I do not have an iPhone that supports Apple Intelligence. While I do have the iPhone 14 and my iPhone 12, neither one of my devices supports the new Apple Intelligence. But since I have basically two iPhones, I will talk about at the end something that you guys have never gotten to see since I started this channel. While I am a late stage beta tester, something I will be doing slightly different this year, but I will mention that towards the end of the video. Now, along with AI and liquid glass sliders, there really isn't a ton of features that we know so far. We can get improvements to existing features, like improvements to liquid glass sort of updates. But there is one bug I hope they fix on the iPhone 12. And I will show this off in my beta 1 review. I guess I've already mentioned it. I will switch over to the iPhone 12 so I can talk about the bug. On my iPhone 12, there is a camera bug that has been in iOS for quite some time now. Basically, let me just make sure live mode is disabled. So if I go into the camera app, and there you can see here, I have my iPhone 14 and my iPad Air. If I snap a couple pictures here, you can see already there's a slight bit of lag. And now as I'm swiping up, you've seen that lag right there. No matter what iOS update I install, or even a point update, a double point update, that camera bug is never fixed. So I hope in iOS 27, Apple will fix that camera bug on the iPhone 12. And I will be installing iOS 27 Beta 1 on my iPhone 12. Now, if you're putting it on a main device, I would strongly caution against that, as developer betas are not optimized for main devices. I would really caution against putting a beta on your main device. But I will not be putting it on my main device. I will be putting it on my iPhone 12. So if there's any bugs, I will report it in the feedback app. Because I am a late stage beta tester, I will not be installing iOS 27 on my main devices not till it is beta 8 or the RC. That's typically when I will go for the later betas on my main device. However, this year, because I have two iPhones, my iPhone 14 and my iPhone 12, which I'm currently screen recording this part of the video on, I will install iOS 27 Beta 1. So you guys will get to see some new features in iOS 27 Developer Beta 1. So I will definitely make a video of all of the new features and changes, liquid glass sliders, and so much more within that update. So I will be installing iOS 27 Beta 1 on my iPhone 12. However, I will not be putting it on my iPhone 14, as it will be unstable, and my iPhone 14 is my main phone. I said this last year when we thought iOS 26 was going to be iOS 19. I said that if I upgraded, I would definitely install the beta on my previous device. And now that that's happened, I will definitely stick to my promise and definitely get iOS 27 Beta 1. Even though I decided to be a late stage beta tester and beta test iOS 26 when it was public beta 5 or beta 8, I still have not installed the first beta as it was unstable and buggy. So on my iPhone 12, I will put the iOS 27 Beta 1 on the particular device, whilst keeping my iPhone 14 on a stable version of iOS 26. As far as what else we can see, well, quite surprising, the Add to Calendar button hasn't really appeared here yet. I'm not sure why, as usually that does appear whenever Apple sends out an invite. But for some reason, that is not appearing here. For some reason, we are not getting the Add to Calendar button. But also, after we get the Worldwide Developer Conference at 10 a.m. Pacific Time or 12 p.m. Central Time, we are also going to get the Platform State of the Union. Now, I don't really cover this, as it's just for developers to give them a hands-on experience and different things like that. But I think that's going to be held at 1 p.m. Central or 1 p.m. Pacific Time or 3 p.m. Central Time. Or 4 p.m. Eastern Time. We can see that the Platform State of the Union. So we will definitely see that. The event should be 2.5 hours long, from 12 p.m. Central Time to 2 p.m. Central Time. And in the Mountain Time Zone, it will be from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time. So I would definitely expect the event to showcase a lot of new features and stability improvements. I already know we're going to get new wallpapers in iOS 27. We get new wallpapers every year. These were the ones from iOS 26, how you can make the clock larger. So I know we're definitely going to get new wallpapers in iOS 27. And I look forward to that every year. This will be like the iOS 15 to iOS 14 update. When iOS 15 came out back in 2021, it did not really bring that many features. iOS 15 was a really interesting update, though it did bring features like Share Play to FaceTime and the ability to FaceTime Android via web links. You got Share Play, and you got live text and different features like that. And you also got some more third-party widgets and some updates in iOS 15. And you also got Face ID with a mask in iOS 15.4. So we are expecting under the hood changes kind of similar to that in iOS 27. Maybe some updates to FaceTime, some more new widgets, existing updates to existing features, liquid glass sliders, and different things like that. And also, this concept home screen I created using Google Gemini. So leave a comment down below. What do you think of this home screen? As far as anything else, well, that's it for WWDC 2026. Leave a comment down below if you're excited for this event. I myself am extremely excited for WWDC. I look forward to this every year because as a person that really loves the Apple ecosystem, this is just the one event that I cannot miss. This event and the iPhone event, really, I cannot miss these events. So I really love when Apple has these events. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.